I just realised this whole time my ex-husband's been going to the gym and all that and buying all these new clothes. They were going to, when they were going to reveal Dragonfly, the company of mine that they stole, my ex-husband was going to turn up in a suit looking all dapper and like a gentleman, and they were going to claim that his transformation was miraculous, when the whole time it was all strategically planned to coincide with a prediction that I had made a few years ago about a thing that I had seen with my ex-husband and I going into business together, and they had taken all my predictions and that to flip it and they moulded their lives around my predictions, so it would appear like my predictions about the prophecy and everything that was coming for my future was actually going to be about them, to make it look like I was the liar and they were the true chosen ones. They had literally were starting to change and transform their lives to suit the prophecy of my predictions of all my years of what everybody knew was coming for my future. So it would look like when they when they blew the whistle on me being an abuser and blah blah blah, that it would look like that they were actually the true that the people that I was predicting all along, the future I was predicting was actually for them and not me, because they were the divine beings and I was an antichrist, and it was actually the other way around, because they were working together to make it look like that the mirror had flipped, that I was the bad person, all the good stuff I was seeing for them. And so what they did is they manipulated everything to look like they were elevating and I was sinking. That's why he wasn't giving me access to money. That's why he wasn't giving me access to new clothes, or to take care of the kids and things like that. That's why he wasn't letting me go out and socialise. That's why they isolated me from all my friends and all my clients and that, because they wanted to make sure that I got lower and lower and lower and lower, so it looked like I was dealing with karma while they were reaping the rewards, when in actual fact they have been manipulating my entire life since 2017, since they took the radio station away from me, to make it look like I was dealing with karma, when in actual fact they were actually slowly starting to turn my life off. So that then when they did this big reveal to say, look, we're all beautiful and we're all wearing suits and we're all miraculous and healthy and our vagus nerve is activated, and look, we've had this ascension and it's so great and we're divine beings and we're angelic and she's evil and the Antichrist, when the whole time everything was meticulously, strategically placed to make it look like my life was descending while theirs was ascending, when in actual fact they were faking the whole thing while dialing my life down, so that I would have no one and nothing to go to when they dropped the bomb. Little realising that God was watching the whole time. He's been growing his hair long to suit the prophecy, because his girlfriend's from New Zealand. They thought if they got a Kiwi, that would mean that it was the prophecy. Like, just because the prophecy says she comes from an island, she's Indigenous. I'm a Māori person. I grew up with Māori people, right? So the prophecy said that he would have long black hair and would be waiting on bended knee in the land of Ace. So he's growing his hair out long, and she's going to come over and she actually makes a prediction about him turning up in a suit, getting down on bended knee to propose. So they are literally trying to mould their lives to suit a prophecy about me, to make it look like I was wrong about the prophecy being about me, because it was actually about them. They have faked and staged and meticulously planned their transformations to a T, to coincide with, and then they've blended it into all the readings. But the thing is, when you have an ascension, okay, you can go to the gym and all that, but part of an ascension is having a spiritual awakening. They walk around with like the Leviathan, devil worshipping stuff on them, with skulls and and then what they were going to say was, he's been wearing all this devil worshipy stuff to make it look like, oh, I was lost and I was in a dark place because I was with Debbie, and she was dark and evil and she was dragging me down, and then they're going to come out and say, oh, look, he's all handsome and he's got this suit on and he's gorgeous. It's because Adelina saved him because she's the earth angel and Debbie was the Antichrist, and the whole thing was staged and planned the whole time. It's all fake, and you can't fake an ascension. You can be as spiritual and go to the gym and dress up as much as you like, but if your heart isn't pure, if you're planning to, everything that they've done behind my back is not an ascension. What they've done is they have built up karma points so that when God was ready to strike that match and pull that tower down, they had more to lose than me, because he made sure that while they removed everything from my life, when he pulled the tower down from them, they had more to lose than me. So now I'm sitting here with my beautiful boys who have just been so incredible throughout this whole thing. My eldest boy, man, he has been so... What a real man. He has put his father to shame. He has utterly put his father to shame. They don't call him dad. They don't call him father. They won't acknowledge him. He's Christopher. They don't want his last name. They want mine. They don't want anything to do with him. We've been sitting here working it all out, putting all the puzzle pieces together, and it's like we have just decided at this point that he's going to be erased from our memory once this is all over. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to get money. We've got about 3 days worth of food left, so I'm not worried though, because I have the most incredible sense of peace and calm about me. It's like we're in this house and it's warm and cozy, and then it's just like we know there's a war outside. My boys had a dream a few weeks ago. My boy did, where him and his brother were going around annihilate, like there was like all out street war. And now I realise that they were predicting what's just happened, because they were faking their predictions on their readings, but my boys are divine children. So when my boys have their dreams, they're real. They're not going to be fake like the ones that these ones have been putting up on their site. Remember Sand Tarot? I've just realised that when I do my readings, I'm scrying. It's like I'm scrying the whole time. She knew exactly what she was going to say, because they had planned out the storyline before they even started laying out those cards, but letting you think that she was being intuitive and just scrying and going with the flow, when the whole time it was staged. She was just reading a story from a book. She might have even had like I don't know, but that's how twisted it was. They were getting ready to reveal that my ex was having this big miraculous transformation because he had gotten away from me, and Adelina had saved him because she was an earth angel, and the whole time they were in on the plot together to destroy my family and steal mine and my children's empire out from under us. And that's why they've all been faking on their websites and on their channels and all that about how they've been getting sick, because they wanted to be able to say that once they were away from me, they were healed, but they were all faking their illnesses to make it look like every time they were around me, they were getting sick, because they were dabbling in with things that they don't have permission from the gods to do. They have broken so many karmic laws now. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't end up seeing people like ending up in hospital, and the stuff that's about to happen to them is the reason why everything had to be removed from us. God made sure that they did everything they had to do to limit my life, so that when he pulled the tower down on them, my boys and I would be safe and protected. And they thought that they were doing a good thing by turning my life down, when in actual fact God was getting them to do it so that when he came after them, my boys and I would have nothing left to lose, but we would have each other and we would be safe and protected. So that's how that works. And I feel calm. I have the most incredible sense of peace, like the most incredible sense of peace. And I'm so proud of my babies. They have been so strong and so protective, and my eldest boy, man, what a man. He has absolutely 1,000,000,000% put his father to shame. My eldest boy is more of a man than his own father right now. I'm so proud of my boys. I know that regardless of what anyone ever tries to say or do about me, when it comes to being a mum, I raise good kids. So this is nearly over. And then my boys and I can just walk away into the sunset with our new life, clean slate, and we can just leave it all behind us and never look back. And we won't look back, because there's nobody in my life now that, so they were getting ready to do this big reveal that they were all having these miraculous changes, but in actual fact it was all staged to make it look like Adelina was like the earth angel, so they were putting her into position to be me, and that she was like, her and my ex were going to be like the saviours, the divine feminine and masculine, and the whole thing was staged. Like they think that you can turn yourself into one, and that it's not that you're born to be one. They thought that they could just put on clothes and put on an act, to appear to be divine masculine and feminines, when in actual fact I think you'll find now, after everything that's come out, it's quite the opposite. They're not divine at all. In fact, they work for the dark side. Everything they've done, I don't care if all the other players in my life get shot, meaning his children, his own children, and he let her put that up. And that's a divine feminine? Do you think that's a divine feminine? Someone who's putting up videos about her boyfriend's kids getting shot, doing the readings to make it look like my ex was having an affair with, was going to be sleeping with one of my students, because I'd had a situation with her regarding my ex. So they staged an entire reading to make it look like that when he got out of prison they were going to be getting together. And I knew straight away when she put that reading up about the Pisces, and what was it called? I know it's been a long time since XYZ, but to make it appear, because she had made a comment about my husband, when he getting out of prison, how he wouldn't be able to last very long. So they staged that reading to make it look like when he got out of prison he was going to Nikki. And when she put that reading out, that's when I knew the whole thing was staged. That's when I knew. She also did one where it was a Gemini reading, where it was about they might be able to do that to them, but they're not going to be able to do it to me, and getting legal advice, because they had told Martin that I was abusive to Chris when I wasn't. It was the other way round. And Martin knew it too, because he had been on the phone with me and my children when he was nutting off, and he was making us run and hide to safety. He was protecting us on the phone while my ex was nutting off. And then they did a reading. It was a Gemini reading specifically, where it said, I don't care. They might have been able to do that to them, but they're not going to do it to me. And then she said something about getting a lawyer. And then when he was in prison, after he left, just before he was getting ready to leave, he asked me for his lawyer's contact details. And that's when I knew. That's when everything started falling into place. And that's when the Judas test came into effect. And I started testing everyone around me, because that's when I knew they were all connected. And I kept wondering why my ex-husband wasn't deleting Nikki from his Instagram, and why she kept insisting on trying to contact my son. And it's because they were all slowly trying to wheedle in this entire plan to make it appear like I was the bad one and they were the victims of me, when in actual fact it was all a plot and a ploy to take me down, to make it appear like I was the Antichrist, when in actual fact they're the ones working for the devil, because they have been working to stop me from getting there to do my divine calling, and they're trying to do it in false light. This is why God's come in and completely destroyed their lives now. He's completely and utterly destroyed it all, because the whole thing was a lie. But it was those readings she did that started making me, like, that's when I started putting two and two together, those two particular readings there, and that's when I started watching. So this whole time you thought I didn't know? Why do you think I sent that reading to you from Stan, Chris? The one about the takedown, the fight. You were planning to start a fight with me so that me and the boys would have to go and stay with Donna and Joe, the two lesbians, she said, remember? I knew what was going on. You thought I didn't know. That's why I was feeding you this stuff. The reading with the Scorpio and the Nick the Dick chick, I knew. Like, I put two and two together a long time ago because of that, the the reading she did about the Gemini with the lawyer, and the reading she did about the the I know it's been a long time since XYZ, and that's when the gods started. That's when my plan went into action, and then I just sat back and watched. And then I knew that when the time was right, God would give me the God would give me the call to act, and that's when the tower would come down. That's when the light would be struck, and the whole thing would explode, because I had to see who I could and couldn't trust. I had to see, and I had to test my husband, my ex-husband, because I knew he was up to something, because he wasn't letting go of Nikki's contact on his Instagram. Because if he was truly on the side of his ex and his children, he would have ditched the whole lot of them to protect his children, but he didn't. And then that's when I knew something was going on. So I just sat back, and I just put little things out there, and I just sat back and watched, and I knew that when I got the call to act, then that would be time to just hunker down and ride it out. And then the other day when I got that message, when the trees started going, and I got that message from Thunderbird to say that the thunderstorm was coming, to get ready, that's when I said I need to get ready, I need to get myself ready, meaning I needed to mentally prepare myself, because I knew he was getting ready to lay waste to all the darkness that was surrounding me and my boys, and that we would need to just stay hunkered down and just lock ourselves in the house and just stay quiet, and just go with everything that was happening, even though it might sort of be stressful, and that just go with the flow and just have faith and let them deal with everything, because once the bomb was dropped, at least my boys and I would be safe. And that's what I did. So yeah, they thought I didn't know. They thought I was stealing their readings, when the whole time it's because I knew they were. I didn't necessarily know that the ex was talking to Adelina and San, but I knew that Nikki and all that were hanging around those people. So I knew that if I just waited long enough, something would reveal itself. And then when Thunderbird came the other day and said, right, get ready, I'm here, it's Judgment Day, just get ready. And I was like, right, okay, I need to get myself ready. And then that's when it happened. It was like a couple of days later, boom. So there you go. So that's my confession.